Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on where you are in the world. This is YPO Presents. I'm Ekaterina Walter, Marketing Director at YPO, and it is my distinct privilege to present to you the extraordinary YPO member and today's guest, Charlene Li. Welcome, Charlene.
Thank you for having me.
Now, for the past 2 decades, Charlene has been helping people see the future. She is the author of 5 books, all of which I read and all of which I love, including the New York Times bestseller, Open Leadership. And she's also a co-author of the critically acclaimed book, Groundswell. I think we'll sort of use it as our Bible. Charlene co-founded Altimeter Group, a disruptive analyst firm that was acquired by Profit in 2015 and named by Fast Company as one of the most creative people in business. Charlene is an expert on digital transformation. Now, Charlene isn't here today to talk about digital transformation. She's here today to talk about disruption. She believes that we all need to stop talking about disruption overall, and we actually need to start doing this. So today she'll be sharing her tips on making disruption a part of your agenda every single day. So with that, let's get started. And if you're watching us live, post your questions in the comment section below, and we'll answer them as time permits throughout the broadcast. So Charlene, to kick us off, first question. So the title of your newest book, which is fantastic, is called The Disruption Mindset. So what is the disruption mindset? And I think most importantly, what can business leaders learn or do to develop it?
Right. I set this. I started the book because people were asking me, so what does it mean to be disruptive? Is it a technology? Is it a strategy? What does it mean? And I figured out it was actually, if you are doing disruption right, then you're generating a huge amount of growth. Growth can be measured in the top line and bottom line, but it could also just be measured in the impact that you're having with your business or your organization. So I think the disruption mindset is when an organization and a leader is constantly thinking about how to create exponential growth. And it's a very, very different way of thinking. And I found all these companies who are doing this quite successfully. And they're not technology companies, and they're not necessarily startups either.
You know, in introduction, talking about growth, in introduction to your book, you made this bold statement. As a matter of fact, you lead with it, which is disruption doesn't create growth. Growth creates disruption. So it's sort of this classic argument, right? What came first, chicken or the egg? So why do you claim that growth creates disruption and not the other way around?
Well, as an analyst now for 20 years, I've been looking at all the technologies, and people keep asking, what are the new technologies that are going to be innovative and drive growth and be disruptive? And what I've learned over these 20 years is that it's never about the technology. And it is just the opposite. In fact, most companies know what is needed to grow at much higher rates than they are today, 2 times, 3 times. But when I ask them, why don't you do those things? They say, well, it'll be really hard. It'll be highly disruptive. We can't do those things because of X, Y, or Z. And so what I find is that the idea of just growing a lot faster than you are today is highly disruptive. And the major reason why people don't do it is because it is going to be incredibly hard. I look at Uber. Uber doesn't use any new technologies, but it is completely disruptive in the way that it approaches its business, the way its impact on the world. But no new technology was actually used or created to make Uber come to life.
That's probably a simple and a complicated truth, right? That disruption isn't just about technology. So, you know, there's another interesting statement I think I would like to address. Why do you think innovation is the snooze button of corporate strategy? Talk about that.
Yes. I think oftentimes we think about innovation as something that a small group of people do, or you put it out into an innovation center. It's not something that everybody else in the organization does. And so what happens is people say, oh, all of that hard work can go outside over there, and I don't have to think about it. I can snooze the fact that I have to make some hard choices about my business because innovation is happening someplace else. So I think innovation is this false promise, a snooze button that says, if somebody else can take care of it, eventually something's going to happen and something's going to change, but I don't have to think about it right now, right today.